This video is about Hercules clears volcanic path until lava surges. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. Part 1 Hercules clears volcanic path until lava surges. In the ancient realm of Helios, where the sun kissed the mountains and the sea roared with the whispers of forgotten tales, a mighty hero strode forth, his name echoing through the valleys of time. Hercules, son of Zeus, was a figure of unparalleled strength and unwavering honor. Yet even the greatest of heroes found themselves at the mercy of fate. The skies above Helios darkened, rumbling with the anger of the gods. A great volcano, Mount Typhos, had awakened, its molten heart set ablaze by the fury of the earth. The villagers of Egypt trembled in fear, their homes on the brink of destruction, as fiery rivers began to surge toward their very doors. Desperation filled the air, and where there was once laughter, only fear prevailed. The goddess Hera, clad in a gown of storm clouds, descended from Olympus, her voice echoing like thunder. Hercules, my son, the fate of Egypt lies in your hands. The villagers cry for salvation. Clear the volcanic path, or their lives shall be consumed by flame. With resolve etched upon his brow, Hercules nodded, understanding the weight of his task. I shall not falter, mother. I will quell this chaos and protect the innocent. His voice was a fierce promise, as he gathered his weapons, his club, imbued with the strength of 1,000 battles, and his shield, forged by the hands of Hephaestus himself. As Hercules approached the mountain, the air thickened with the scent of sulfur and ash. The ground beneath him quaked, as if the earth itself was a living beast, woken from a deep slumber. He could hear the distant cries of the villagers, mingled with the roar of the volcano, a symphony of desperation and power. With every step he took, the ground trembled, and the skies rumbled in protest. He could feel the heat radiating from the volcano, a warning of the inferno that lay ahead. Yet Hercules pressed on, his heart ignited by courage. Climbing the rocky outcrops, he navigated the treacherous terrain, each rock a reminder of the trials he faced. Suddenly, as he reached a narrow ledge, a shape emerged from the shadows, a monstrous creature known as the Magmoth, a titan of ash and flame, forged from the very heart of the volcano itself. Its eyes glowed like embers, and its roar shook the heavens. Foolish mortal, the Magmoth bellowed, its voice a cacophony of wrath. You dare to cross my path, the flame shall consume you. Hercules stood firm, raising his club high, determination radiating from his form. Your flames are no match for the strength of a hero. I will not allow you to destroy the innocent. With a swift motion, Hercules charged forward, swinging his mighty club with all his might. The impact resounded like thunder as it struck the Magmoth's side, sending shockwaves through the creature. The beast staggered, momentarily stunned, its molten form shimmering in the dim light. But the Magmoth quickly regained itself, unleashing a torrent of lava from its gaping maw. Hercules dodged, feeling the heat of the molten rock sear past his skin. The ground cracked beneath the force of the lava, splitting open like a wounded beast. You will pay for your insolence, the Magmoth roared, as it lunged at Hercules, its massive form barreling towards him like a runaway mountain. In a split second, Hercules pivoted, rolling to the side, narrowly avoiding the beast's fiery charge. He felt the air singe against his skin as he regained his stance, ready for the next attack. In the midst of battle, Hercules remembered the stories of his past. He had faced greater beasts, battled against the might of titans, and yet here he stood, with the lives of many resting on his shoulders. He clenched his fists, fueled by the honor of a hero. Drawing upon the power of his lineage, he unleashed a battle cry that echoed through the mountains, calling forth the strength of the gods themselves. The very clouds above rumbled in response, and a bolt of lightning flashed across the sky. With a renewed vigor, Hercules charged once more, darting to evade the creature's fiery breath. He swung his club with the force of destiny, striking the Magmoth's leg and causing it to stumble. The ground quaked as it fell to one knee, howling in fury. You're but a mortal, the Magmoth spat, lava dripping from its maw. You cannot hope to defeat me. I am the fire of the earth, I am eternal. But even the eternal can fall. Hercules cried as he climbed onto the beast's back, searching for the weak spot within its molten form. With a swift swing, he struck the base of the Magmoth's neck, a blow that sent a shockwave through its very core. The creature roared in pain, thrashing violently as it attempted to shake Hercules off. At that moment, the ground beneath them cracked wide open, a chasm forming as lava surged closer. Hercules gripped tightly, dodging pools of molten rock. I fight for a greater cause than survival, he yelled, focusing on the heart of the beast, where its fiery essence pulsed like a beating drum. With a final, mighty swing, Hercules struck the creature's heart, unleashing a surge of power that resonated through Mount Typhos. The magma shrieked, a sound that reverberated through the valleys, shaking the very heavens. In a blinding flash, the earth trembled beneath them as the beast erupted in a torrent of flames and molten rock. Hercules leaped away, rolling across the ground as the mad moth disintegrated into ash, its rage extinguished. But the victory was short-lived. As the magmoth fell, a shockwave erupted, sending a blast of heat and debris into the air. Hercules staggered to his feet, only to see the ground beneath him crack and split. Lava now surged from the mouth of the volcano like a living tide, hungry for destruction. Gritting his teeth, Hercules turned toward the village, the cries of the people ringing in his ears. "I must warn them," he shouted, racing down the mountainside as the molten flow began its relentless advance. The heat was unbearable, but Hercules felt the pulse of adrenaline. He was their last hope, their shield against the fiery doom that threatened to consume them. As he reached the village, panic ensued. Families scrambled to gather their belongings, fear etched into their faces, and children shrieked in terror at the approaching inferno. Hercules, a voice rang out, and he recognized Thea, the village elder, her face lined with worry. "You must save us if the lava approaches. I will protect you," Hercules shouted, his voice unwavering amidst the chaos. "Gather the villagers and head to the cliffs, stay together." With the elders urging the villagers toward safety, Hercules turned to face the oncoming wave of lava, a feral determination ignited within him. But as the molten stream surged with a ferocity unmatched, he knew this challenge was far from over. Standing alone against the unstoppable force, he felt a wave of foreboding wash over him. The gods had tested him before, but this time the price of failure loomed larger than ever. With the flames licking at his heels, Hercules drew upon the strength of his divine lineage, ready to face the fiery tide, and he would not yield until the last ember of hope flickered out. The battle was not yet done. The destiny of the villagers and the wrath of the volcano entwined in a fierce dance, and Hercules stood at the center, a solitary figure against the storm of fate. As the first wave of lava crashed towards him, Hercules raised his shield, prepared to fight the inferno itself, determined to clear the volcanic path and protect those he loved. The myth of Hercules was far from finished, and the gods watched with bated breath. To be continued. ## Part 2: The Fiery Torrent. As the molten tide surged toward Hercules, it glowed like a demon's breath, illuminating his resolute face in shades of orange and red. The air shimmered with heat, creating a mirage that danced before him. He could feel the weight of destiny pressing against his shoulders, like the sky itself had grown heavier, weighed down by the woes of mortals and the intentions of gods. "Hercules!" Thea cried, her voice trembling as she gathered the last stragglers of the village. "We've done all we can, you must flee." "Flee?" he echoed, his voice a blend of defiance and conviction. "I will not abandon you to the flames. The gods may test me, but I shall not break." With that, he braced himself against the lava's relentless approach, channeling every ounce of strength coursing through his veins. The heat enveloped him, burning against his skin, yet he stood his ground, a bulwark against the impending doom. Suddenly, from the depths of the volcano, a monstrous roar echoed, an ominous herald of the dangers yet to come. Hercules glanced upward, and as if summoned by his gaze, a shadow loomed over the horizon. The sky darkened further, clouds swirling like ink spilling into water, and a figure emerged amidst the chaos. It was Hephaestus, the god of fire and forge, his molten essence swelling around him in a dance of flame and steel. The god's voice rumbled like a distant thunderstorm. "Hercules, your bravery has not gone unnoticed, but heed my words, the true challenge lies ahead." "What must I do?" Hercules shouted, squinting against the blinding light that surrounded the god. "You must quell the tide before it consumes the innocent. Seek the heart of Typhus, the sacred gem buried deep within the mountainous core. It can quell the inferno and grant you the strength to turn it aside." A rumble shook the earth as Hephaestus spoke, and lava spewed forth with renewed vigor, an insatiable beast thirsting for destruction. But be wary, the heart is guarded by the ashen wraith, a creature of despair born from the very ashes of Mount Typhos. Without waiting for a response, Hephaestus dissolved into a shower of embers, leaving Hercules with the weight of his words and a resolve forged in fire. The villagers were in a frenzy, but he could not succumb to panic. "Hurry," he called out, rallying the remaining villagers. "We must reach the cliffs, stay together." The urgency in his voice cut through the confusion, and under his guidance the last families began their flight. As they scrambled toward safety, Hercules turned back towards the volcano, feeling the surge of lava behind him like a living creature. The ashen wraith awaited, its presence a dark omen that shrouded the path to the heart. With a final glance at the fleeing villagers, Hercules set forth, his heart pounding with both fear and determination. The ground shook violently as he ascended the slopes of Mount Typhus, the heat intensifying with every step. He could hear the screams of the mammoth as the feet echoing through the mountain, mingling with the roar of the lava. "Show yourself," Wraith, he shouted into the smoky abyss, his voice a blend of challenge and command. "I will not be deterred by shadows." As if responding to his call, a chilling mist rolled out from the mouth of a cavern ahead. The temperature dropped and dark figures coalesced, swirling like smoke. A figure emerged, tall and gaunt, its form shifting and flickering like dying embers. The ashen wraith bore a visage of sorrow, its hollow eyes filled with a haunting void. "Mortal," it rasped, its voice a hollow echo that chilled Hercules to the bone. "You disturb my rest. The heart of Typhus belongs to the ashes, and you, foolish hero, shall not claim it. Your reign of despair ends here," Hercules retorted, brandishing his shield. "I fight not only for myself, but for all those who dwell in light and hope." With a howl that echoed through the cavern, the wraith lunged forward, its form dissolving into a tempest of ash and flame. Hercules braced for impact, ducking as a cloud of soot and embers swept by, searing the air. He felt the rush of wind and heat, the very essence of the creature threatening to engulf him. Rolling to his feet, Hercules swung his club, striking the wraith's ethereal form. Yet it passed through like smoke, leaving him disoriented. "It is not strength you need, but will," the wraith taunted, its voice a caress of despair. Hercules gritted his teeth. "Then I shall summon the strength of my heart." He remembered his mother, Alcmene, her unwavering spirit, and the villagers who depended on him. He could not falter now, the flames of hope would never extinguish. Raising his shield once more, he charged forward, weaving through the swirling ash that sought to consume him. "For those I protect," he thundered, releasing a fierce cry that echoed off the cavern walls. With newfound fervor, he struck again, this time aiming for the heart of the wraith, focusing on its core. The creature howled in rage, its form shifting, attempting to evade him. But Hercules was relentless. He could feel the pulse of fate guiding his movements. Just as he connected with a powerful blow, the cavern shook violently, a tremor that ran through the very fabric of the mountain. The wraith's form split, revealing the glimmer of the heart of Typhus, nestled within an altar of stone. "Your struggle has been futile, hero," the wraith screeched, reforming to protect its prize. "You cannot have it." Hercules, however, felt the weight of destiny lifting him, the resolve of all those he loved filling his heart. "I am not just a hero," he roared. "I am the son of Zeus, and I will not yield." He summoned every ounce of strength and lunged forward, his club meeting the wraith's call with a thunderous crack. The creature roared, its scream a cacophony of anguish and rage, as the heart of Typhus burst forth, bathing the cavern in a blinding light. The light consumed the wraith, it writhed and twisted, its form collapsing into a whirlwind of ash. Hercules staggered back, shield raised, as the eruption of energy surged around him. The heart pulsed, radiating warmth, its glow powerful enough to push back the encroaching shadows. As the remnants of the wraith dissolved, Hercules grasped the heart of Typhus, its surface cool against his skin. He could feel its ancient power coursing through him, melding with his own. And now, he breathed to save the village. With a heart in hand, Hercules bolted back down the mountainside, the heat of the lava still raging behind him. He could sense the village as fate hanging in the balance, and his heart quickened with urgency. As he descended, the ground quaked, and jagged rocks tumbled around him. "Faster, Hercules," he urged himself, summoning the very essence of the heart to guide his steps. Reaching Aegea, he found the villagers huddled on the cliffs, their faces pale with fear. The lava surged ominously, a tidal wave of destruction, threatening to engulf them. They turned, her eyes filled with both fear and hope. Hercules' UV returned. With the heart throbbing in his grasp, he stepped into the molten glow. "Stand back," he commanded, raising the heart high. "By the will of the gods and the strength of those I protect, I shall quell this inferno." As he channeled the heart's energy, a radiant light exploded from within, casting away the darkness. The lava hesitated, as if sensing the might of the divine artifact. Hercules felt a connection to the very essence of the earth, the spirits of the ancients whispering in his ear. "By the heart of Typhus, I command you," he bellowed, thrusting the gem forward. The air crackled with power, and a barrier of light surged outward, meeting the advancing tide of lava. The molten flow hesitated, then began to recede. The villagers gasped, their eyes wide with disbelief as the lava curled back, retreating from the cliffs as if rebelling against the power of the heart. "Yes, sir," Hercules cried, a surge of triumph flooding through him. "Stay strong, my friends, we are not lost." In that moment, the skies above began to clear, the sun piercing through the tumultuous clouds, casting a warm glow upon the village. With every ounce of strength, Hercules pushed forth the hot energy, and the lava, now subdued, receded into the depths of Mount Typhos. A silence fell over Aegea, a stillness that echoed with disbelief and relief. The villagers erupted into cheers, their voices blending into a melody of gratitude and salvation. Hercules stood before them, breathless yet triumphant, the heart of Typhos glowing softly in his grasp, a beacon of hope amidst the ashes. Though the battle against the Wraith was won and the village saved, Hercules knew that. # Part 3 The Wrath of the Gods. Elation washed over Hercules as the molten tide receded, but even in victory, the weight of fate hung heavy in the air. The villagers of Aegea rejoiced, their voices rising like the sweet melodies of a lyre, yet in the depths of his heart a storm brewed. He could feel the presence of the gods watching Hera, with her tempestuous gaze, Zeus, whose thunderous laugh could shatter mountains, and Hephaestus, whose flames had aided him. But they were not alone. From the shadows emerged darker forces, ancient and vengeful, lurking beyond the veil of the sky. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the trembling earth, the air thickened with foreboding. The heart of Typhos pulsed in Hercules' hand, its warmth a reminder of the strength he wielded to save the villagers. Yet, with each heartbeat, a whisper echoed in his mind, ***, what price would the gods demand for this victory? ***. The villagers, now safe, began to gather around him, their faces lit with joy, tears of relief glimmering in the fading light. They approached, her hands clasped in gratitude. "You have saved us, Hercules, the heart quells the flames, you are a true hero." Yet, even as she spoke, a dark cloud gathered above, swirling like a tempest. Hercules felt the chill of divine anger. The gods were not pleased. The sky crackled with electricity as a voice boomed down from the heavens, deep and rumbling, echoing through the valley. "Mortal." It was Zeus, king of gods, his voice shaking the very ground beneath their feet. "You have defied the balance of nature and the will of the divine." Hercules steeled himself, raising the heart of Typhos high. "I did what was necessary to save the innocent. Is it a crime to protect those who cannot protect themselves?" "Your actions have consequences, Hercules," Zeus thundered, the clouds above rolling with fury. "You dare to challenge the forces of destruction. You will face the wrath of the gods." Hercules felt a tremor run through him, a primal fear that threatened to overwhelm. "I stand ready, my father. I will not cower before you or any force that threatens my people." With that declaration, the skies erupted in a brilliant flash, and from the heart of the storm descended a figure cloaked in shadows, a creature more terrifying than any mortal beast or titan. It was the Furies, the goddesses of vengeance, their eyes glowing with a fiery intensity. "Fierce mortal," one of them hissed, her voice like the rustling of dead leaves, "you have disrupted the element of fire, defied the nature of the volcano, and now you must pay the price. We are the harbingers of your fate." Hercules' heart raced, but he stood firm, his grip tightening around the heart of Typhos, seeking its strength. "I fear no wrath. I will fight for the lives of the innocent." The Furies howled in laughter, a sound that sent chills through the villagers. "So be it, son of Zeus. Face your doom. We shall unleash the infernal legion upon you, fiends forged from your own despair." With a wave of their hands, the air shimmered, and from the shadows emerged an army of twisted horrors, creatures forged from ash and embers, monstrous beings with snarling jaws and fiery eyes. Their bodies flickered like flames, their movements swift and deadly. They were the remnants of the Mount Moth, twisted by the very essence of the volcano into malevolent forms. "Prepare yourself, hero," the Furies shrieked, their voices intertwining like a sinister chorus. Hercules felt the ground shudder as the infernal legion advanced, each step echoing with the promise of destruction. "Protect the villagers," he shouted, turning to face them as the Furies hovered above, their laughter like thunder. With a roar, Hercules charged forward, summoning the heart's energy. A wave of warmth cascaded over him, infusing him with strength as he swung his club with ferocity. The first of the beasts lunged, jaws snapping, but Hercules sidestepped, delivering a crushing blow to its flank. The creature howled, a sound of malice, and crumbled into a cloud of ash. Yet more surged forth, relentless and unyielding. Hercules felt the heat of their breath as they closed in, their eyes glinting with the hunger for chaos. "I will not falter," he bellowed, feeling the surge of strength from the heart coursing through him. As the battle unfolded, he fought with the might of 100 heroes, each swing of his club resounding with the echoes of his ancestors. He ducked and weaved, striking down the infernal legion one by one, the ash swirling around him like a storm. Amidst the chaos, a pair of fiery eyes locked onto him. A monstrous creature, larger than the rest, with jagged teeth and molten skin, emerged from the depths of the battle, a manifestation of his own fears. Its roar shook the heavens, sending the villagers into a frenzy of terror. "Hercules!" they cried, her voice breaking through the din. "Beware the flame-bringer, it is born from your own despair." In that moment, he remembered every trial he had faced, every wound he had endured, and the sacrifices made for honor. "I will not be defined by my despair," he shouted defiantly, charging the flame-bringer. As the beast lunged, Hercules felt time slow. He raised the heart of Typhus, its glow illuminating the darkness. With a mighty swing of his club, he struck the flame-bringer with all the strength within him. The impact reverberated, and the creature let out a deafening roar as it staggered back, lava dripping from its maw. But Hercules knew this was only the beginning. The creature righted itself, fury igniting its molten core. "You think you can defeat me, mortal? I am the flames of your past," it roared, lunging once more. "Then I will rise from the ashes," Hercules shouted, channeling the heart once more. "I fight for the light." With a furious clash, Hercules and the Flamebringer collided, a battle of titanic proportions that shook the earth beneath them. As their energies clashed, Hercules could feel the weight of destiny pressing down upon him. He summoned the memories of his loved ones, their faces a tapestry of hope and resilience. The battle raged on, but Hercules, with each pulse at the heart, pushed back against despair, refusing to yield. The Flamebringer circled, searching for an opening, its molten breath searing the air. Finally, seizing an opportunity, Hercules lunged forward, ducking beneath the beast as snapping jaws. He rolled to the side, springing to his feet, and unleashed a powerful swing that caught the creature off guard. The club struck true, and the Flamebringer staggered. With a roar of triumph, Hercules surged forward, the heart blazing with brilliance. "For Aegea, for all who suffered," he cried, delivering a final, devastating blow that sent the Flamebringer crashing to the ground. The creature writhed in agony, its form bursting into a shower of embers and ash, scattering into the wind. The remaining Infernal Legion hesitated, witnessing their leader's defeat. Hercules stood tall, breathing heavily, his body aflame with exertion, but his spirit unbroken. "You are nothing without your master. Leave this place, or you will meet the same fate." The Fury shrieked in anger as their minions began to dissolve, retreating into the shadows from which they came. "This is not over, hero," they screamed, their voices laced with venom. "We shall return, and your triumph will be your downfall." As the last echoes of their laughter faded, the villagers gathered around Hercules, their eyes wide with awe and disbelief. They approached, her expression a mixture of admiration and reverence. "You have faced the darkness and emerged victorious. You are the light that guides us from despair." Yet, even amidst their celebration, Hercules felt the weight of their words. The battle was won, but the gods remained watchful, and he knew they would not forget his defiance. "A victory today," he murmured, "but the war for Aegea is far from over. We must remain vigilant." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the village, Hercules held the heart of Typhus close. It pulsed with echoes of his journey, a reminder that whilst he had triumphed against the fire and fury, darker challenges lay ahead. And so, with the villagers at his side, Hercules stood as the guardian, a beacon of hope in a world fraught with uncertainty. The legend of Hercules continued to unfold, woven into the very fabric of fate as the gods watched from Olympus, their intentions shrouded in mystery, their favor as volatile as the flames of Mount Typhus. The beat continued. Hash 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 Part 4, the dawn of reckoning. As twilight descended over Aegea, the village buzzed with a mix of relief and disbelief. The heart of Typhus pulsated gently in Hercules' grasp, illuminating his weary face with a warm glow, stark contrast to the darkening skies overhead. While villagers celebrated their deliverance, the shadows of the gods loomed, their intentions cloaked in mystery and menace. "Hercules, how can we ever repay you?" they implored, her hands shaking with gratitude. Her eyes glistened, reflecting the flickering lights of the village bonfires. "You have saved us from the inferno. You are a beacon of hope." But deep within, Hercules felt a churning unease. "Hope is a fragile thing, Thea," he replied, his voice low and somber. "We have won this day, but the gods are not easily appeased. This victory has drawn their ire, and I fear their wrath is not yet quelled." He felt their gaze piercing through the clouds, a reminder that their judgment was as unpredictable as the tempest that had just passed. The villagers had gathered close, their faces painted with both joy and fear, still feeling the residual heat of the battle. Suddenly, a dark wind whisked through the village, extinguishing the flames of joy. Villagers looked skyward as the shadows coalesced, forming into a menacing figure that blotted out the stars. It was Nyx, the goddess of night, her presence suffocating, a deep silence descending upon all. "Foolish hero," she intoned, her voice a sultry whisper that curled round their hearts. You have meddled with the balance of nature and defied the will of the gods. The scales have tipped, and now you shall pay the price. Hercules stepped forward, clutching the heart of Typhos, its light flickering in the presence of darkness. I did what must be done to save the innocent. If you seek retribution, then let it come. I will not shy from this fight. Nyx laughed, a haunting sound that echoed through the canyon, reverberating in the bones of the villagers. Bravery alone will not protect you from the darkness. The Furies will return, and they will bring forth the shadows of your past, twisting them into nightmares that will consume you. From the depths of her shadowy cloak, Nyx summoned forth the very essence of despair, releasing a tide of swirling darkness. It pulled at Hercules' feet, morphed into phantoms of guilt and regret, figures from his past, each tethered to failures and lost comrades. Face them, Hercules, Nyx taunted, her eyes gleaming with malice. Face your demons. The shadows writhed, taking forms familiar yet twisted, his fallen comrades from the battles long past, faces he once cherished now twisted in agony and sorrow. You abandoned us, Hercules, they cried in unison, voices layered with anguish. You could have saved us. Elf. Hercules bellowed, his heart pounding in his chest as the memories surged forth. I fought for all of you. You know my heart. I did not abandon you. The shadows lunged, their hands grasping for him, pulling at the very fabric of his being. Hercules felt the chill of despair seeping into his bones, the weight of their accusations nearly toppling him. But then he heard the voice of his mother, Alcmene, a gentle whisper that shattered the darkness. Stand firm, my son. You are not defined by your past, but by the strength you carry within you. Rallying against the torrent of despair, Hercules turned his gaze back to Nyx, his expression fierce and unyielding. You will not bind me with shadows. I am Hercules, son of Zeus. I embrace my past to forge a brighter future. With the heart of Typhos blazing, he unleashed its energy. Golden light erupted from the gem, skidding over the shadows, illuminating the specters of his past. They shrieked, dissolving into wisps of smoke as the light engulfed them, banishing their torment and granting Hercules the clarity he needed. The goddess snarled, her expression darkening. You think you can banish darkness with mere light? You will face the Furies, and they will not be so easily dismissed. As if summoned by her words, the air crackled, and the Furies emerged, 3 fierce figures woven from nightmarish fury, their eyes burning with vengeance. They swirled around Hercules, each one a tempest of wrath. Foolish hero, the eldest Fury screamed, her voice a screech of chaos. You think you have triumphed, but we will tear apart your very soul. You will now despair. Bring it on! Hercules roared, channeling the heart's energy as he readied himself for battle. The villagers had retreated, watching in awe and fear, their breaths caught in their throats. With a sudden flourish, the first Fury lunged, a whirlwind of dark energy and claws. Hercules sidestepped, his instinct sharp as he swung the heart forward, creating a barrier of light that pushed her back. You will not claim me, he shouted, his voice ringing with power. The second Fury howled, a blast of wind and darkness that threatened to engulf him. You are surrounded. Mortal, you cannot escape us. Yet Hercules stood unyielding, drawing strength from the villagers' hope, from memories of fallen friends, and from the spirit of Aegir. I will not be vanquished. I fight not just for myself, but for all who believe in light. And just as the last Fury descended upon him, Hercules channeled the heart as power, sending forth a wave of radiant energy that blasted through the darkness. The light enveloped the Furies, pushing them back, revealing their true forms twisted and ephemeral, their power diminished by Hercules' resolve. No, they shrieked, their voices intertwining in a cacophony of rage and despair. The heart of Typhos pulsed with brilliance, its light wrapping around them like chains, binding their fury. With a final surge of strength, Hercules thrust the heart forward, transforming it into a beam of light that pierced through the shadows. The Furies writhed and screamed as the light consumed them, their forms bursting into shards of darkness that faded into nothingness. As the last echoes of their cries faded, a stillness enveloped Aegir. Hercules stood panting, the heart still glowing brightly in his hand, a testament to his perseverance and the power of hope. The villagers slowly emerged from their hiding places, eyes wide with disbelief and awe. Hercules! They cried, rushing to him. You have defeated them, you have faced the darkness and emerged victorious. But even in the warmth of their joy, Hercules felt a shadow begin to loom once more, a whisper of dread curling around his heart. The gods had witnessed the battle, and he knew they would not remain silent for long. From the heavens, thunder rumbled ominously, and Zeus' voice echoed down, heavy with authority. You have triumphed today, son of mine, but the balance has shifted. The Furies were but shadows, the true test lies ahead. Hercules looked skyward, a defiant strength rising within him. I will face whatever trials you set before me. Father, I shall not shrink from the path of destiny. A silence stretched heavy with tension before Zeus spoke again, his tone softer but firm. Then prepare, for the next challenge will be greater than you can imagine. Perhaps it is time for you to confront the truth of your purpose and to understand the weight of your legacy. As the clouds parted, a path of light unfurled, revealing a celestial gate suspended in the starry night. Hercules felt an irresistible pull, a calling that beckoned him into the unknown. The villagers watched in awe, their eyes glistening with admiration and fear as he prepared to take his next step. "Stay vigilant, my friends," he called, turning back to Aegea. "I will return, and when I do, it shall be to protect you once more." With that, Hercules stepped through the celestial gateway, embraced by the light of the gods, his heart full of courage and resolve. The path ahead held mysteries and trials yet unseen, but he was ready to confront whatever lay ahead. For in the depths of his soul, he carried the spirit of Aegea, the dreams of his ancestors, and an unyielding will to rise against the darkness. Thus began a new chapter in the legendary saga of Hercules, a hero forever entwined with fate, honor, and the eternal struggle against despair. The gods watched with bated breath, their intentions weaving into the tapestry of time as the true test of Hercules was yet to unfold. To be continued.